It began like one of those innocent evenings. A few glasses of wine, old friends, and a game that should have stayed playful. Let's play Truth or Dare. Couples edition, Claire's best friend, Hannah, announced, her grin mischievous and wide. Everyone laughed. The rules were simple. One truth, one dare, nothing serious. Claire was already tipsy, her face glowing in the dim kitchen light. Her laugh rang out loud and carefree, the kind that always drew attention. I used to cherish that sound. Lately, it just reminded me how distant she had become. When her turn came, Hannah leaned forward. If you couldn't marry Ryan, who would it be instead? Claire laughed, looked at me, and said casually, "Easy. I'd marry my ex, Ben." The laughter that followed drowned the question itself. Even Claire smirked, swirling her wine. "What?" she asked, noticing my expression. "It's just a game," I said, offering a smile that hid sting. But inside, something cracked. The night continued with jokes and music, but I couldn't shake that moment, the ease with which she said it, as if the thought had been waiting there all along. After the last guest left, Claire was cleaning up, humming a tune. I leaned against the counter. "So you married Ben, huh?" She glanced back, half smiling. "Oh, come on, Ryan. Don't tell me you're jealous." "Not jealous," I said. "Just curious." She shrugged. "Ben was fun, spontaneous. You're stable. Two different kinds of love." I let that word linger. Different, like smoke in the air. Later that night, when she fell asleep, I scrolled through old photos on the couch. Our wedding day, her eyes bright, certain. Back then, I never questioned her laughter. It belonged to me. But recently, she'd grown distant, texting late into the night, smiling at messages she didn't share, saying she was catching up with old friends. I wanted to believe it was nothing. I really did. The next morning, while making coffee, I asked, "You still talk to Ben?" She hesitated. "Sometimes. Just messages. Nothing serious." I nodded. "Cool. I might grab lunch with Lauren next week." Her eyes snapped up. "Your ex?" "Yeah. She's fun, spontaneous," I said, repeating her own words. She froze. "Don't be petty, Ryan. I'm just being honest." I added, "Different kinds of love, right?" She rolled her eyes and walked away. But something had shifted. The air between us wasn't just tense. It was electric. Over the next few days, she grew defensive, hiding her phone, taking calls in another room, smiling at texts she wouldn't explain. So I stopped asking. I stopped watching. I just prepared. A week later, I told her I was taking a short work trip. She barely glanced up. "Okay, when will you be back?" "Friday night," I said, but I didn't go anywhere. That night, I parked a few streets from our apartment. Lights off, engine silent. I waited. After 9, a car pulled in. Ben stepped out, exactly like his photos, confident, careless, that stupid smirk from her college pictures. He didn't knock. He walked in. Then the lights inside dimmed. I didn't need to see more. My chest felt heavy but calm. A calm that comes when pain sharpens into clarity. By morning, I had a plan. The next evening, Claire sat at the table, hair tied back, sipping coffee like nothing had happened. "How was the trip?" she asked without looking at me. "Quiet," I said. "How was your night?" She blinked once, then smiled faintly. "Fine. Just watched a movie." I studied her. She couldn't meet my gaze for more than a second. Her hands fidgeted with the cup. She was lying, not artfully, just lazily, assuming I'd never call it out. For a while, I didn't. I went through the motions. Work, dinner, sleep. But inside, I was done pretending. She wanted freedom, adventure, passion, whatever that meant. And I was tired of being the steady, boring constant in her life. So I gave her what she wanted. One Saturday morning, I woke early and made breakfast, pancakes, strawberries, the whole spread. She looked surprised but pleased. "This is nice," she said softly. I smiled, thought we could talk about us. She tensed but nodded. I took a breath. "You once said you'd marry your ex if you could." Her expression shifted. That flash of regret you can't fake. "Ryan, I didn't mean..." I raised a hand. It's okay. You should. You should marry him. What? I leaned forward. Steady. You'll get to try. I spoke to Ben. He's available. Honestly, I think you two deserve each other. Her lips trembled. No words came. I stood and slid an envelope across the counter. Divorce papers. Signed. She stared as though it were a foreign language. You can't be serious. I was serious when I married you, I said softly. You weren't, she cried. For a moment, I almost faltered. Then I remembered the dim lights, Ben's jacket, shadowed on our chair. That memory steadied me. You think this will make you feel better? She whispered. No, I said, but it'll make things fair. She followed me to the door, voice shaking. Please, Ryan, don't do this. I made a mistake. I met her eyes one last time. No, Claire, you made a choice. When the door closed behind me, it felt final, the last chapter of a book I'd read too long. The days that followed were oddly peaceful. I moved into a small apartment near the river, where silence no longer hurt. People speak of heartbreak as chaos. For me, it was clarity. Peace isn't the absence of pain. It's the absence of pretending. Claire called a few times, leaving long messages about regret, therapy, second chances. I never returned the calls. Then one evening, she appeared at my door, smaller somehow, shaped by the lesson she hadn't wanted. I can't marry him, she said. I know, I replied. I don't love him, she whispered. I love you. For a moment, I almost believed her. But love without respect isn't love. It's nostalgia. You laughed when you said that. Remember? I said softly. She looked away, tears streaming. I didn't know what I had. I nodded. Now you do. She lingered for a second, hoping I'd change my mind. I didn't. She walked away quietly, her figure fading into the glow of the streetlight. I closed the door, breathed deeply, and smiled for the first time in months. Sometimes letting go isn't losing. Sometimes it's the only way forward.